Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Wednesday, the 12th of April. I'm Nigel Croft. In this video, we'll be looking, like we did yesterday, at 2 US stocks and 2 UK stocks. In the States, we'll be looking at Apple, which is coming out with figures in 2 to 3 weeks on the 2nd of May. And we'll be looking at Nustar Energy, which made an acquisition last night and is having a secondary offering at the moment. And in the UK, we'll be looking at HUR EMG, a great statement yesterday from the CEO on TIP TV. And we'll also be looking at Man Group EMG, where it's up to a key resistance level, and perhaps there could be a further upside potential for the shares. So looking straight at Apple, and here we have the daily chart. You can see there was a downgrade last night which hit the shares and has taken it back below its downtrending 20-day moving average, which you can see here. That's a slight warning sign. There is further support. I mean, obviously we had this consolidation period through March, which will be a support level, and then you've got the 50-day, which is presently at 138, coming upwards, which will give support as well. But I remember that I did a video a couple of weeks ago on Apple, and I was concerned it was getting overbought and was likely to drift. We are seeing that drift now, and the consolidation could take a turn for the worse, and certainly will continue further. You can see the where I was talking a few weeks ago about the RSI being very overbought. It's now unwound. In fact, it's now showing negative momentum. It's down at 53.28, and it does look like it's going to go back below the 50 level. Also, the MACD, the shorter term blue line has now gone below the red line, which is a negative factor and is indicative of negative momentum as well. So really you would be looking for at least for the 140s to be tested, and possibly a move back to the 138 50-day moving average in the short term. Looking at the weekly chart, and it's still looking a bit overextended. You can see the RSI still in high ground, presently at 76, is rolling over as well. MACD, although still positive, are rolling. Again, what you could see after such a strong move up from the 110 in November up to this, above the 140 level, is a sideways consolidation on this chart would be the best you could hope for. And on the 4-hourly chart, meaning here there's actually a small head and shoulder formation, which if we follow the path of the left hand shoulder would take us down to about the 137 level. Also we did close on the 54-hour moving average, so maybe at the open today we'll get a bit of a bounce from that, but I would expect that to break and a move imminently below the 140. Again, the RSI is indicative of negative momentum, and the MACDs are rolling in a negative fashion. On the support resistance levels to be looking for, on any bounce, the 20-day will be resistance at 142.3, and then there's 145.46 with supports at 138.62, and then at the 50-day, as I said, that rising 50-day giving the support at 138. Moving on to Nustar Energy. After hours, this is the close. After the market closed, the shares fell below 50. So we expect an open around that level. You can see that's where the 20-day moving average is, 49.5. That will give support. Look how key the 200-day was back on the 27th of March. That was a key support which gave the bounce up. It's going to be key again today at the open, so do watch that level. I'll repeat, it's 49.50. What does the picture look apart from that? Well, obviously we've got the 50 days moving down and was a resistance on the 5th of April. The 20 days out of the picture, that's going to start tracking down again. And really, the best you could hope for is a bounce from the 200 up towards the 20, and a bit of range trading for a few days in that range. To the downside, if the 200-day doesn't hold, you should expect a fall to around about the 47.3 level. The RSI is totally neutral. In fact, it's 50.01. It will fall today, obviously, and start to indicate negative momentum. MACD still slightly positive from the upward move that we've had since the end of March, but will roll down. On the weekly, as I said, we're expecting a move down below this 50-week moving average at the open today. That's the support at 48. Really, if we get a consolidation there, you can see that it could start to be creating a head and shoulders formation, so you'd hope that wouldn't happen. For the upside, it needs to imminently get back up to where we are at the moment, around the 51.5, 52 level, because the picture would deteriorate the longer we stay below the 50. On the 4 hourly, so obviously it doesn't really make a lot of sense given what's happened after hours, but you can see the support there down at the 49.39 level. And quickly looking at the support resistance on Nustar, that resistance, as I said, at the 50-day, 52.38, with the key support at the 200-day, excuse me, 49.5. Obviously, you can freeze this video. You can pause if you want to take those the other resistance levels into consideration. Right, moving on to the UK, HUR EMG. It's had a nice consolidation and is now back to support levels from the 20-day moving average and the 50-day, which are both moving upwards. You can see the general picture has been rises, consolidations, rises, which is a very positive technical picture, and there's nothing to indicate that this consolidation is nothing more than that, and then the next move will be in the upward direction. When do we get that? Well, looking at the way the moving averages have given the boost previously, one would expect it actually to be quite soon, because we're close to the 20 and the 50-day. The RSI, perhaps because of the consolidation, is fairly neutral, but it is above 50, 56.28, and on any uptick that would soon move up and start to indicate positive momentum. MACD is moving sideways. On the longer term picture, you can see, as I said, the longer term pattern of rises, consolidations. There's been a couple of gaps, which is always very positive. There'd be no surprise if there was another gap to the upside on that chart. And the support coming in at the the 20-week moving average there is going to give this needed support. Very quickly on the 4 hour, and you can see again a consolidation. we're at the 20-week, which is here, and the 24-hour moving average and the 54-hour moving average, both looking okay. Again, neutral on the RSI and the MACD, but really, if there were to be a tick above 58, 59, that would break the downtrend, and it would start to look good. On the support resistance levels, supports at the 20-day, 55.21, then at 53.55, with resistance on the upside, 58.45, and then 62. Finally, moving on to Man Group, which is the code EMG, and you can see it's had a good run so far in 2017, and is now in a consolidation phase. Has been range trading since the end of February. looking like it could get a push up from this 20-day moving average towards the top of the range, which would be good, and the 50 days also up there. RSI slightly not indicating that might happen, so wait for the break, and MACD is neutral as well. On the longer term, you can see this range trading, and you can see the reason that we're getting the range trading is that from June 2015 right through to where are we? What's that? April 2016, we had this range trade, and that is now resistance. So that's the reason we're not pushing on upwards at the moment. It may take further work to do to break into this resistance, perhaps for these moving averages to catch up a bit more. Quite positive on this moving average. The 20 week has moved back above the 200 week in a positive sign, so they are all starting to track upwards again, which is good, and that could give the push into this resistance. But that's the reason we've had the consolidation, and you can see the RSI started to roll, so keep an eye on that, and MACD as well. On the 4-hour charts, we've got a bad tick here which isn't helping the picture. Let's just concentrate on the picture since then. Let's get to take that out, and you can see that we're above the 20 and the 50 4-hour moving averages. Again, you can see this band of resistance. You would hope that the 24-hour average might give the push up. RSI neutral, MACD neutral. So really on the Man Group, one could conclude that wait for a break of this short-term resistance. If not, because of the longer-term picture, it could just consolidate further. And on the support resistances for Man Group, we've got support at the 20-day and the 50-day, 145.23, 143.53, and then, as I said, the key resistance is that 162.55 level. This has been TA for Traders on Wednesday the 11th of April. Thank you for watching. I'm taking a break now. There'll be no more videos until after Easter. If you enjoyed this video and you've watched all the way through, well done. And if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please remember that these videos are my opinions only and are for educational purposes and are not meant as investment recommendations. And in that respect, please do read the disclaimer that's coming on the screen. Thank you.